Welcome to my first playoff preview. In this one, we're going to be discussing Cavs vs. Knicks. Let's start off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who made a splash trade for Donovan Mitchell last offseason, and that has worked out so far. This was the first season in the past 2 decades where the Cavs made the playoffs without LeBron. Their rebuild hinged upon Evan Mobley, the second overall pick from last year's draft, who is a contender for Defensive Player of the Year, and Jarrett Allen, who's one of the best rim-protecting centers in the league. Those 2 big men form the best rim-protecting duo of bigs in the entire NBA, in my opinion, and it's why the backcourt of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell is able to thrive. Both of these players have been phenomenal offensively all season long, and Mobley and Allen help make up for the defensive deficiencies of Garland and Mitchell. This is an interesting series in part because the New York Knicks were the favorites to land Donovan Mitchell during last year's offseason and couldn't pull the trigger. Now they're going to have to beat him. Mitchell averaged 28 points per game this year, 4 rebounds and 4.5 assists, shooting 48% from the field and 39% from 3. Those are the most efficient numbers of his career, as he doesn't have to take on as much of an offensive burden as he used to in Utah. Garland averages almost 22 points per game and 8 assists and shoots 41% from 3. He's figured out how to play both on and off the ball and coexist next to Donovan Mitchell in that Cavs backcourt. Isaac Okoro should get the start at small forward. He came on strong for the latter part of the season, shooting the 3-ball solidly at 36%. He's the Cavs' best perimeter defender and could get the matchup against Jalen Brunson. Speaking of Jalen Brunson, that was the Knicks' splashy offseason move after missing out on Donovan Mitchell, and Brunson has paid dividends so far. Coming over from the Dallas Mavericks, Brunson was the biggest all-star snub this past season, as he averaged 24 points per game and 6 assists for a Knicks team that went from the lottery last year back to the playoffs. 24 points per game, 6 assists, 49% from the field, almost 42% from 3 is really good numbers. Brunson's ability to play at his own pace at a listed height of 6'1" is quite impressive. He uses a lot of pivots in the paint and is overall a really crafty player. It'll be interesting to see if he can have the same sort of success against the frontcourt duo of Mobley and Allen. Meanwhile, Julius Randle made the All-Star game. He averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. He was phenomenal for the Knicks all season long. And after having a dismal performance in his only playoff series ever in 2021 against the Atlanta Hawks, where Randle shot under 30% from the field, it'll be interesting to see if he can have a good playoff series against the Cavs. Having Jalen Brunson next to him does take some of the offensive burden off of him, but Evan Mobley will be a really tough defensive matchup for Randle. RJ Barrett was in a shooting slump almost all season long. He shot a career-low 31% from 3. When he gets hot, he can be a truly dynamic scorer, but when he's missing shots, it's unclear if he actually helps the Knicks, because he's not a great passer or playmaker. He's not a great defender either, not a great rebounder. He's pretty much just a microwave scorer at this point. That's fine for your third option, but he has been volatile all season long. Quentin Grimes has become the starting shooting guard in New York, and he's become one of the better 3 and D guards in the league. He averaged 11 points per game in his second season, shooting almost 39% from 3, and is a good on-ball defender. He's also really efficient from 2. Doesn't shoot many shots from there, but 64%, that's pretty good. He has a true shooting percentage of 62%. Quentin Grimes is not a guy to sleep on. The center rotation for the Knicks includes Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, which is a pretty good 1-2 punch. And Josh Hart got traded from the Portland Trailblazers to the Big Apple at this year's NBA trade deadline. He has looked really good in a Knicks uniform. He's averaged 10 points per game off the bench, shooting 59% from the field, which includes 62% from 2 and 52% from 3. I would not expect that 3-point percentage to maintain that rate. He only shot 30% in Portland and 35% for his career. That is obviously just some small sample size skewing, but Josh Hart is a true X factor for the Knicks, and New York needs him to have a good series off the bench. As far as strengths and weaknesses for the Cavs, their number one strength is their rim protection. Opponents shoot the 5th lowest rate in the league at the rim. They also do a good job of forcing turnovers. They ranked 4th in opponent turnover percentage. This Cavs defense actually rated number 1 in adjusted defensive rating this season. And for an offensive strength, the Cavs finish well at the rim. They shot 66.1% 61% at the rim. Good for 5th in the NBA. As far as weaknesses go, the Cavs are actually pretty well rounded. They don't have many weaknesses. Their number one weakness is probably defending the 3-point line. They rank 23rd in opponent 3-point percentage. That is no surprise given the way their defense is set up, with their two bigs being their best defenders and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell being a little questionable on the perimeter on that end. But otherwise, the Cavs don't really have any weaknesses defensively. An offensive weakness is they don't shoot well from mid-range. They rank 20th in mid-range percentage. And then the third weakness would probably be their ability to come back from a deficit. The Cavs play the slowest pace in the entire NBA. So if the Knicks can build leads, it'll be interesting to see Cleveland getting forced to play at a faster pace in order to try and catch up. Meanwhile, strengths for the Knicks: they rank second in offensive rebound percentage. The Knicks aren't in the top 10 in rim, mid-range, or 3-point percentage, but have the 4th adjusted offensive rating, due in part to how well they are able to offensively rebound. The Knicks also rank 5th in the NBA in terms of turnover percentage. They take care of the ball. And defensively, the Knicks do a good job protecting the rim. They have the 3rd best opponent rim percentage in the league. They force misses from there. The Knicks also don't let teams get all the way to the basket. They rank 6th best in the NBA at not letting opponents get to the rim. The Knicks and Cavs played 4 times this year. The Knicks won 3 of those games. And as far as keys to the series, for the Cavs, they have to control the defensive glass. With Mobley and Allen, they should have the ability to do that, but the Knicks rely heavily on offensive rebounding. They also need to build and maintain leads. I have questions about this team being able to play from behind. And lastly, I want to see the Cavs play through Evan Mobley. While he is their 3rd option, I think it would be smart for the Cavs to force Julius Randle to guard, potentially put him in foul trouble, but at least make him expend energy on that side of the floor, guarding a talented player such as Evan Mobley. As far as keys for the Knicks, they're going to have to get Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson going. This should be obvious, but I have question marks about both entering this series. Julius Randle and his ability to have a good playoff series in general, which we've never seen before, but then also doing it against Evan Mobley and Jared Allen is a bit of a concern for me. And then Jalen Brunson, will he be able to get to the rim in this series consistently and finish from there? This Cleveland Cavaliers team might stop that from happening. The second key for the Knicks will be to knock down threes. When this team is making shots, they're really hard to beat. We saw that over the second half of the season, where the Knicks shot much better than they did the first half of the year, and that coincided with a huge winning streak and the Knicks playing their way all the way up to the 5 seed. And then the third key for the Knicks will be their pick and roll defense. The Cavaliers have 2 really good pick and roll ball handling guards, as well as 2 really good pick and roll big men. The Knicks' ability to guard the pick and roll will be crucial for them winning this series. As far as my prediction, I just think the Cavs aren't a good matchup for the New York Knicks. I don't trust Julius Randle yet. I think the Knicks are a really good basketball team right now, and they played better in the second half of the year, so they've trended in the right direction. However, I just think the Cavs are going to be too much. I think the Cavs win in 7 games. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comment section below. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.